That was, of course, President Droupadi Murmu making her first address to the nation on the eve of Independence Day. There, of course, placing a lot of faith in the youth of the country, in the women of the country to take the country forward, saying that hope, what our freedom fighters fought for in 1947, for us to be able to achieve independence, is something that we are able to fulfill in terms of their dreams by 2047, when India will complete 100 years of independence. News just coming in right now. It appears that tomorrow Prime Minister Modi could make some important announcements regarding the expansion of health services in India. Sources have told India Today to expect a big-ticket announcement from Prime Minister Modi tomorrow on the occasion of Independence Day. Prime Minister Modi may launch Mission Heal India from Red Fort. Expect radical changes to India's health infrastructure. Target 2047 to end sickle cell anemia. So that is, of course, the information that's coming in right now. Our sources telling India Today now that there could be some big-ticket announcements that Prime Minister Modi could be making from Red Fort tomorrow on the occasion of Independence Day. My colleague Himanshu Mishra is joining me live right now. Himanshu, क्या expect कर सकते हैं प्रधानमंत्री के संबोधन में?
देखिए, बिल्कुल पलमी, कल प्रधानमंत्री जो है हील इंडिया एंड हील फ्रॉम इंडिया जैसी योजनाएं जो है उसकी घोषणा जो है लाल किले के प्राचीर से जो है वो करेंगे। और इस तरीके की चीजों को हमेशा प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जो हैं वो लाल किले के प्राचीर से ही जो है वो अनाउंस करते हैं, चाहे वो स्वच्छ भारत योजना हो या हर घर जल हो या ये कहें कि प्रधानमंत्री आवास योजना हो। वो सारी योजनाएं जो है प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जो है हर साल लाल किले से अनाउंस करते हैं। और इसीलिए इस बार हिल फॉर इंडिया जैसी स्कीम का भी जो अनाउंसमेंट है प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जो है वो लाल किले की प्राचीर से घोषणा करने जा रहे हैं।
Okay, so that is, of course, the information that Himanshu is bringing to us, viewers. This breaking piece of information coming to us from sources that Prime Minister Modi could be launching the mission Heal India from the precincts of the Red Fort tomorrow as he addresses the nation on the occasion of India's 76th Independence Day. This is going to be extremely crucial. A big push for health infrastructure across the country. Target to 2047, in fact, to end sickle cell anemia as well. This information coming in through sources. India gears up to celebrate 75 years of independence. Celebrations are underway across the country. Various landmark buildings and heritage sites have adorned the colours of the Tiranga. Various events have been planned across the country. Tiranga rallies are being organised across the country and people are participating in Har Ghar Tiranga campaign. Beating retreat ceremonies also being carried out at the Atari Wagha border in Amritsar. Dubbed Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav by the central government, this year's Independence Day celebrations have been scaled up to mark 75 years of India's independence. In the national capital, families of freedom fighters will be felicitated by the Delhi Lieutenant Governor. In Uttar Pradesh, Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath marked Partition Horrors Remembrance Day.
भारत को भारत के नाते बड़ा बनाना है। अमेरिका ने क्या किया? अमेरिका बड़ा तो बना है, बलाढ्य है, संपन्न है, ज्ञान विज्ञान के क्षेत्र में आगे है, लेकिन सारी दुनिया पर अपनी व्यवस्था लाने का डंडा चलाता है, क्योंकि अपनी छोटी सी जनसंख्या के लिए उसको बहुत सारे संसाधन चाहिए। चीन भी बड़ा बना है, आगे गया है, लेकिन अपने सामर्थ्य का उपयोग अन्य देशों के टुकड़े अलग करके अपने साम्राज्य का विस्तार करने के लिए करता है।
As the nation celebrates Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, security has been tightened across the length and breadth of Jammu and Kashmir, particularly at the line of control and India-Pakistan international border. Army personnel deployed at the LOC are maintaining strict vigil and high alert, as has been in fact sounded in view of intelligence inputs that suggest the terrorists may carry out strikes to disrupt Independence Day celebrations. Here's a ground report from the LOC.
In view of the Independence Day celebrations, security has been tightened across the length and breadth of Jammu and Kashmir. Right now we are standing at the line of control in Jammu and Kashmir's Akhnur sector, and here you can see a patrolling party of the Indian Army. They are maintaining strict vigil here and they are ensuring that enemy doesn't resort to any kind of misadventure. Indian Army is now equipped with modern weapons, and you can see that they are armed with SIG rifles. These rifles have been provided recently to the Indian Army, and we can also see helmet mounted devices which can detect any movement in and around the line of control. So the Indian Army is maintaining strict vigil here at the line of control in Jammu's Akhnur sector. Security has also been beefed up along the India-Pakistan international border in Jammu and Kashmir. There are intelligence inputs that Pakistan and Pakistan-sponsored terrorists could create disturbances in Jammu and Kashmir in view of the Independence Day celebrations. And if today the nation is able to celebrate Independence Day peacefully, it's because of the sacrifices and because of the efforts of these brave hearts of the Indian Army. They maintain strict vigil here along the line of control 24/7. They have to face adverse circumstances. Right now, if we, it's very difficult to even breathe here because of the hot and humid temperature. But our brave hearts are ensuring that our frontiers are safe, that the territorial integrity of the nation is intact.
And that's a wrap on this bulletin. For all the latest news and updates, you can log on to indiatoday.in. You can also download the India Today app. Thanks for watching.
You are watching India Today.
I don't read the news. I read between the lines to tell you the true version of events, the true story of our times.
To document grief, the toughest assignment for any journalist to be.
From those who matter,
Women politicians going to stick up for each other.
of those who should matter, I document the truth. I don't distort the truth. I don't glamorize the truth. I don't gloss over the truth.
The ghosts of India's contentious medieval history have come knocking again.
I hustle for the truth, on the ground, in the newsroom, in the studio. I don't try to grab eyeballs.
I inform you to make you see the point.
To the point with Preeti Chaudhary. At these times, only on India Today.
Maldives' Greater Mail Connectivity Project is its biggest infrastructure project, and India is supporting Maldives in this project. This project is supported with a grant of $100 million and with a credit of $500 million. The loan granted has a 5-year grace period. Maldives has to pay back the loan with 1.75% interest rate. Mumbai-based construction company Afcons is constructing this bridge. This project will build a 6.74-kilometer long bridge that will connect the national capital of Maldives, Male, with adjoining islands Vilingili, Gulhi-Falhu and Thilafushi. Maldives President Ibrahim Mohammed visited Delhi to discuss this and many upcoming projects. This project will help India in further momentum. India is supporting the Maldives government to build 45 major projects. A grant assistance of $16.88 million will be given to the Maldives. Of these 45 projects, 17 are done and inaugurated. These projects cover diverse areas such as tourism, sustainable development, education, fisheries, local infrastructure and youth development. India helping Maldives is a signal that India has replaced China. China built the Sinamale Bridge for Maldives. The bridge is 1.39 kilometers long. Until GMCP, this was the biggest infrastructure in Maldives. The GMCP project will boost Maldives' economy. This project is significant to Maldives as it facilitates inter-island connectivity. Transport is one of the major challenges for Maldivians. They always have to travel through ferries and boats. The condition worsens during the monsoon. Male is one of the most densely populated cities in the world. This bridge will improve connectivity to the country's capital city. This has been a persistent issue for the residents. The bridge will be completed by the year 2023.
With independent India turning 75 this year, we take on a journey of 75 iconic moments in Indian sports, starting from 1947 till today. But as we begin our story, here's something to remember. Sports wasn't a priority immediately after independence. There were millions to rehabilitate following the partition, and basics like food, health and housing took precedence over recreation. Despite that, India witnessed many path-breaking moments in the first 4 decades of its independence, from dominance in hockey to a rare medal at the Olympics in an individual event, and then the big bang in cricket when India became the world champions. Here are moments 1 to 25 in a chronological order.
Hockey had fetched India 3 Olympic gold medals before the independence, but the supremacy remained undefied post-1947 too. There was no Dhyan Chand in that team, but there were other stars who ensured that India remained unbeaten right till the end, adding another gold at the London Olympics in 1948. The first official Asian Games were organized in New Delhi in 1951, a historic moment for the country. The National Stadium in the capital hosted participants from 8 nations who competed in 9 disciplines. The Games were not just a tool to bring sporting nations to India, but also a show of strength that India had arrived. Kasaba Jadhav or KD Jadhav became the first individual medalist of independent India at the Olympic Games. He won the wrestling bronze medal in the bantamweight category at the 1952 Helsinki Olympics. It took India 15 tests to register their first win after independence. Vijay Hazare led the Indian team against England in a 5-test series, with the first 3 ending in draws, while England won the 4th match before India bounced back to win the 5th and final test in Madras by an innings and 8 runs. At the 1956 Olympics in Melbourne, Indian team scripted history, becoming the first Asian team to make it to the semi-finals of an Olympic Games, and en route also defeated hosts Australia 4-2. India's supremacy continued in hockey, with the team winning their 6th gold in Olympics, this one in 1956. For the first time, an Indian became a world champion in any sport. And the man to do that was Wilson Jones, who won the World Billiards Championship in 1958 and reclaimed that title again in 1964. One of the most iconic moments in Indian sports came from flying Sikh Milkha Singh, who finished a close fourth in the 400-meter race at the 1960 Tokyo Olympics. His fourth place time of 45.73 seconds remained a national record for more than 40 years. For Indians, making it to the main draw of any Grand Slam singles event has always remained a tough nut to crack. But here was Ramanathan Krishnan, who not only played the Wimbledon but also reached the semi-finals in 1960. Till date, he remains the only Indian to do so. The Indian football team had won a gold medal at the 1951 Asian Games at home, but to replicate that performance 11 years later at the same event in Jakarta was another historic feat. India's domination in world hockey continued as they won a fourth straight gold medal after independence at the 1964 Tokyo Olympics. Never before had India won a test series overseas until Mansoor Ali Khan Pataudi's men travelled to New Zealand in 1968. The Indian team registered an emphatic 3-1 series win. Beating England in England is not something that happens often, but the Indian team made it happen in 1971 when Ajit Wadekar's team beat England 1-0 in a 3-test series. The world witnessed the arrival of a batting genius in Sunil Manohar Gavaskar. Against the famed pace attack of the West Indies, Gavaskar made a memorable debut with 774 runs in the series, which still remains a record for any batsman in a debut series. Perhaps one of the most important tennis matches to have never been played. This was 1974 when India made it to the final of the Davis Cup, where they were scheduled to play South Africa. The Indian government did not allow the team to compete and the players were forced to boycott the final since South Africa was under the apartheid rule. While Indian hockey was a dominant force at the Olympics, a gold in World Cup remained elusive. In 1975, Ajit Pal's team ended that wait as India defeated Pakistan in the final to win their first and only gold medal in a Hockey World Cup. More than 65 nations boycotted the Moscow Olympics in 1980 following Soviet Union's invasion of Afghanistan in 1979. India, however, did participate and won a gold with only 5 participating teams. That was the 8th and the last gold in hockey for India in an Olympic Games. Prakash Padukone, the first Indian to win one of the most prestigious badminton tournaments in the world, the All England Championships in 1980. He remained the only Indian to lift that title for more than 2 decades. The Asian Games returned to India after a gap of 4 decades when Delhi hosted 33 nations. It still remains the last Asiad that were hosted in India. Kapil Dev and his men turned a new leaf in Indian cricket when they defied all odds to upstage favourites West Indies in the final to win the 1983 World Cup. The moment and the team became immortal, and for India, cricket was never the same thereafter.
Always the victory sink in much later than what you think. You know, it was just another day and another victory. But now when we look back, every day we enjoy more. We went to the dressing room of West Indies team. They congratulate us and they said, well done, Kapil, Clive said. And we said, sorry guys, it happens in life.
Don Bradman was the pinnacle in cricket, and in 1983, Sunil Gavaskar became the first cricketer to go past the legendary Australian's record of 29 Test hundreds.
Running at home and representing.
The 1984 Los Angeles Olympics was the closest that India came to winning a medal in a track event. P.T. Usha missed out on a bronze by 1/100th of a second to finish 4th in the 400-meter hurdles final. 2 years after lifting the World Cup, Indian cricket saw another high at the World Championship of Cricket in Australia, where top 7 nations participated. India remained undefeated throughout the ODI tournament and beat Pakistan by 8 wickets in the final to win another coveted trophy. PT Usha had an illustrious career, but at the Asian Games, she would run like a dream. The 1986 Asian Games witnessed the best of PT Usha, and she won 4 gold medals and a silver in Seoul. It had to be Sunil Gavaskar, the first man to scale the 10,000 run mark in Test cricket. The Little Master, as he was popularly known, made it happen in Ahmedabad with a late cut of Pakistan's Ijaz Faqi in 1987.
The first half of our journey was about how not commerce, but patriotism and nationalism that drove India's success on the sporting pitch. But as the country's fortunes began to change, riding on the new wave of privatization, so did India, showing in the world of sports. The new millennium brought with it the winds of change, and finally, the country moved beyond the Olympic ideals of mere participation and began to focus on winning.
In 1987, Chetan Sharma scripted history by becoming the first bowler to take a World Cup hat-trick. This was also the first instance of an Indian taking a hat-trick in any format of the game. Vishwanathan Anand was just 19 when he became the first Grandmaster from India in 1988. That was just the start of a legendary career during which Anand scaled new heights and on his way inspired many to follow him. A young boy just 16 years of age made his international debut in 1989 against Pakistan that boasted of one of the most lethal bowling attack. Sachin Tendulkar went on to become a colossus in world cricket with umpteen records in a career spanning close to 24 years. The greatest all-rounder for India, Kapil Dev, went past Richard Headley's record of 431 test wickets in 1994. By the time he ended his career the same year, he was the leading wicket taker in the world with 434 test wickets. Leander Paes ended India's 44-year wait for an individual Olympic medal at the Atlanta Games in 1996. Paes had injured his wrist before the bronze medal match but decided to go ahead, and he came back from a set down to win India's first and only Olympic medal in tennis so far. In the chilly Delhi winters of 1999, Anil Kumble became only the second bowler ever to pick up a 10-wicket haul in Test cricket. Pakistan, in pursuit of a victory target of 420 runs, began well before Kumble struck them down one after the other. He ended with 10 for 74, only the second time the world had witnessed something like this since 1956 when England's Jim Laker took all 10 wickets in an innings. The first time India got a taste of victory at a Grand Slam event was in 1999, and the men to make that happen were Leander Paes and Mahesh Bhupathi when they won the doubles title at the French Open. It was the start of a journey that every Indian fan enjoyed as the two went on to become the most celebrated tennis duo in India. India lifted their maiden Under-19 World Cup title in 2000. The likes of Mohammad Kaif and Yuvraj Singh became stars overnight and then went on to represent India at the senior level too. Karnam Malleshwari became the first Indian female to win an Olympic medal. Malleshwari won a weightlifting bronze at the 2000 Sydney Games. VVS Lakshman and Rahul Dravid staged an epic fight back against Australia at the Eden Gardens when India were asked to follow on. The two shared a 376-run stand and India registered a famous victory which many believe changed the face of Indian cricket. Pulela Gopichand ended a wait of more than 20 years to emulate Prakash Padukone to become India's second player to win the All England Championships in 2001. A young duo of Yuvraj Singh and Mohammad Kaif, who were still trying to find their feet in international cricket,